Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Mike Smith and I'm the character designer on Paperbound Brawlers, and this is obviously the next one, the next character reveal. This character, the Scarab, I'm hoping I spelled that right. Probably should check that before you upload a video. But he's another character out of the Book of the Dead. I think I mentioned in the last video that the Book of the Dead just had a lot of characters in it. He's one of those. Now he was also the most irritating character. I mean, I love him to death, but he was also one that was kind of difficult to find a new pose and settle upon a new pose for him. Mainly because he's just huge and he's got a lot of hard angles with his claws and his mandibles, and sometimes it was very difficult to take, let's say, like his arm shells and whatnot and get him correct as far as foreshortening and the proportions and stuff. It was really, really difficult. And then I had a hard time just settling on any kind of pose. I think when I first started this, and he was one of the ones near the end, I knew he was going to be difficult. Him and the Mastodon, the last two characters, they're really the biggest characters in the entire group. Like I said, I'll eventually put up a size chart once all the characters have been released and everybody can see them. But he's massive compared to like Eddie and the other characters. He's kind of like a frontline soldier in the Book of the Dead. So he's just pretty massive, got a lot of bulk and a lot of lethal weaponry. But he was very, very difficult. I must have done, like I said, I think I said, that's what, 30 poses, 40 poses. He was just driving me crazy. Matter of fact, it was so bad, I was, I didn't even put him in my sketchbook. I was just grabbing scrap pieces of paper. There we go. Tongue twister I didn't know about. Scraps everywhere, just trying to figure this guy out. It was just tricky. I don't know. I mean, I can obviously point to some things, reasons why, but there was just something else that was just tricky for me in this one. But you can see he's kept the overall appeal and aesthetics of the other characters, what we brought to that, which was, thicker line work, a lot more hashtags, and of course those action line marks everywhere. Just gives him a sense of movement. But he was, like I said, just very challenging. There's some characters when you come across that just challenge you in ways, just where you want to take a computer and throw it in front of a bus. And him and the Mastodon actually was surprisingly easier. But him, and I think it was, I don't know, I think it was a Skull Kid. There was another one then there just kind of drove me nuts. It was just really, really difficult to do. Or sometimes when you're making a character, sometimes just pieces of it are really difficult. Maybe the face is hard. Maybe the arm is difficult, or a claw, or a mandible, or something, whatever. It's shells, it's armor. Sometimes they could just be a little tricky to do. As you can see here, I have switched over to Photoshop, and now I've begun the painting process. I think the drawing process took about an hour and a half, maybe 2 at the most. I have to go back and look at that. Somewhere around 2 hours or less. And then when I got into Photoshop and I start kind of, putting all the color in, it takes like 20 to 25 minutes at the most, and a lot of that is just double checking things, and it can get a little tedious at times. But that's really about it. It's a pretty fast process when I get to the color. And you see all the marching ants there. What I'm doing, and what I've done with all of these characters, is you highlight certain areas and you group them together. So for instance, I would take all of his shell, select all of that, and save it as a selection. And every time I wanted to go back in and just change the color of the shell, I just load that selection up, it immediately pops up, and I dump whatever color I want to. So I can do that with the teeth, the mandibles, his belly, his eyes, and you have all these different various selections in your character, and it makes it it saves a lot of time in the long run. Even though it does take some time to go to a character and meticulously outline every little piece. Now, it doesn't take too long. Really, I think it depends on the complexity of a character. But in the long run, it does save time. And I think I started doing this process early on. I did it, I think it wasn't as disciplined back in 2013, but now I do take the time to kind of save those selections on different characters so I can speed up the process. Even though you're sitting there in the moment feeling like, wow, this has taken a long time to do. No, it does pay off. It does pay off. So here I'm going through and just showing all the different colors, making sure they look right, making sure I've lined them up correctly, and that all the profiles are correct per, I guess, per folder there. I think that's what I'm doing there. I'm creating some more folders. That's his core design there, that red and I believe red and yellow is his core, like his number 1. Alright guys, there it is. There's the new look for the Scarab. Alright guys, more videos to come on Paperbound Brawlers, and we will see you in the next one.